Hello and welcome to episode 61 of Soccer Situations. We're coming fresh off the pod derby.
Yes.
Arsenal hosted Liverpool. We got lots of feelings about it.
Lots of feelings.
Crazy stuff in the Champions League.
Silly Champions League stuff this week. I loved it.
And so much more. Here we go.
Soccer Situation.
I bluffed about freestyle in the intro. Terrible job with it. It was the most low energy intro of all time.
Hilarious.
It's fine. It's fine. What's going on, Alex?
We just watched a tense match. It sucks all the energy out of you, you know?
Yeah, and then,
High-tension match.
then we had the sort of relaxing digestif of clicking over to the Lions and seeing them absolutely trouncing the opposition.
Yeah, Lions destroying the Tennessee Titans right now. Like 52-14 when we turned it off.
Not bad.
Ooh, it's beautiful.
Give myself a little more monitor. I can't really hear you.
I can't hear me.
There we go. Are you good?
Yeah, I can hear.
Your audio's good?
Yeah, I got everything right now.
Sick.
It's working.
Let me just triple check
Everything's
the audio over here, folks. We're avoiding technical difficulties today, everybody. Alex's levels look a little lower than mine. Let's balance that out just a teensy bit. How y'all doing, folks? I am Todd, and this guy.
I'm Alex.
That's Alex. We don't introduce ourselves every episode, I don't think.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we should probably be better about
We
that.
did it. We I think we did for a little while.
We did.
We did, and we stopped.
Yeah.
Why did we stop?
It's a little bit of a tug of war with me over how scripted I want things to be.
Yeah.
I'm Todd. I'm the Liverpool fan, and Alex is the Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
And today we got a pod holiday kind of. The two clashed.
Yeah. Kind of a it feels like a throw. Did it feel like a throwback for you a bit to the days when we used to always have these kind of draws?
It did in a lot of ways, yes, and in some ways not at all.
Because both teams are so much better now.
Yeah, that's actually true. And also, I'm just in such I have a really distinct frame of mind coming off of such a long-term manager and being what really, really feels like a new project because the team feels so distinctly different.
Yeah.
That's hard for me to look at it out in any other frame than that. This is just a new Liverpool team I'm watching. But you're right. There was a long period. There was like a record, I think, where Liverpool and Arsenal met, and it was draws.
It was just draws.
Non-stop draws.
Yeah.
Always.
And usually high-scoring draws.
I was going to exciting draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good ones. A certain
it felt like a bit of a
memorable
throwback
4-4.
to that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I saw on social media, Arshavin was in the building. So
Oh, really?
It's only fitting that we had another draw
Yeah, throw back to that guy, that little kook,
with Andre in the building.
little Russian kook.
He was what a little character that guy is.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yes.
It's a fun random signing.
Yeah, he burned brightly and quickly. Then
He did.
He vanished into
then
the
just
night.
disappeared.
Dude.
Yeah.
Was he this fucking Soviet plant?
Maybe he was, yeah.
Because he just ghosted into.
He did just disappear off the face of the earth, I feel like. Every once in a while, he just reappears. I'll just see him show up at the Emirates.
You feel like he'd be a conspiracy theory guy. He's not, though, is he?
Right? I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't really pay close tabs to him, though. I wouldn't rule it out, I'd say. He seems like he could get into some shenanigans off the pitch, too.
All right, we talked about it being reminiscent of old battles. Here in the notes, I only put in a filler joke note that says Liverpool were robbed. I don't really feel that way. For me, it felt a lot like Liverpool-Chelsea in the sense where, again, I'm feeling this team out.
Mm-hmm.
These are kind of the first real tests that are coming, and there's like a lot of negatives to take from it, but still a certain level of satisfaction. It was kind of a very like workman-like game to watch for me.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like Arsenal, it was definitely more pressure on Arsenal, and they played like there was more on the line for them. They played with higher intensity, it felt like.
So much more energy.
Yeah, especially in the first half more so than the second half. The second half, it felt like we fell off a little bit, and you guys, there was always going to be a time when Liverpool came into the game and dominated for bits.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if I remember us dominating it all ever, but there were points where we had periods in your half.
Yeah.
But there were also, I think those points were memorable because there were long periods where we didn't.
That is true. That's probably fair.
Yeah.
But, the thing with Liverpool always is there's always the fear of the counterattack.
For sure.
And that was like the one lethal moment in the second half, I feel like.
Yeah, it gets one of those frustrating things once a squad reaches a certain sort of level of talent, just like mass in the locker room.
Yeah.
Where they're never not a threat, no matter how out of it you think they are.
Exactly.
Commentators said something cocky that pissed me off, where they were like, "Yeah, it just feels like Liverpool's talent has gone out of the game," or something like that. You remember
They did,
said that?
he did say that.
I was mentally like, "You give us one fucking half a second, dude." And sure enough, that's all
it took.
Yeah, all it took.
Yeah.
I would say I don't think it's controversial to say Arsenal were the better team in this game.
Yeah, I think we probably would have deserved the 3 points, but also, you can never take for granted that. With the team we had, I feel really good about the way we played in this game, even though the draw is a little, I'm sure, frustrating for Arsenal fans in the end.
For sure.
I felt like we played really, really well with a weird, mixed-up team.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can't overlook those, to a certain extent, it feels like the injury conversation is always part of the conversation these days.
Yeah.
But you can't overlook when you're missing players like Odegaard and Saliba.
Yeah.
Really
two
really
heartbeats
players.
of the team, two
Yeah.
like spine crucial people for that team.
To be fair, Liverpool missing Jota and Alisson, who
That's true. That's also pretty crucial.
really key players at either end of the pitch. But Arsenal were undoubtedly in the worst shape of the two teams. So I think Arsenal fans should come away from that feeling pretty good. I said the same thing about Chelsea when we beat them last week, and I was worried about sounding patronizing, but I really meant it. I'm like, I like Chelsea are a good team. I came away feeling that way, literally.
Yeah.
And the same in this game. I was like, I know a lot of Arsenal fans are probably going to be frustrated with points dropped.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I think they should feel pretty solid about
that team's
the way they
performance.
played, given the personnel.
Yeah, given the situation, given there was a lot of pressure from results and things going against us a few times already this season.
Yeah.
I think they should be happy with the way that team came out and played today.
Yeah, I thought they looked really good.
They looked pretty dominant at points in that game.
Yeah, Bukayo was lightning up front.
Bukayo, that goal was beautiful. That was a thing of beauty.
Were you a little frustrated with Martinelli's wastefulness at times?
I was. I feel like you probably heard me say a million times. I'm like, God, his final product is so bad.
I remember you saying that, and I separately remember feeling relief, like specifically
when the
him
ball
just
goes to him,
like ballooning shots, and me being like, all right.
I love Martinelli, but
Pressure relief.
I think it's starting to get to the point where I think if Odegaard was fit, it's Trossard out there on that wing and not Martinelli right now.
Yeah, Trossard was a troublemaker all game.
He was up to shenanigans.
Was a real
in the middle
presence.
There.
Yeah. I think your midfield, I think, bossed Alexis McAllister right out of the game.
McAllister was rattled from almost the first minute. It
Yeah,
felt like.
he was throwing a fit, dude.
I don't know why.
And I don't know. I think if he was just getting out hustled, is the only thing I can think of.
yeah.
Which doesn't happen to him often, honestly.
It's true.
But I feel like he was getting outworked, and I don't know if he felt like his midfield teammates weren't, giving him the support he needed or what. But anyway, he was shook and subbed eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had, to be fair, you were facing Rice and Marino and Partey coming up from right back also into the middle there to clog things up. It's probably a pretty frustrating front to come up against.
Partey looked really great at right back, eh?
Dominating at right back.
He looked like he was having a blast.
Yeah, he played unbelievable at right back today.
Yeah.
And he was doing it all. Like, he was playing that classic step into the midfield, looking like sometimes you would forget he's even playing right back because he's just like floating in the midfield like you would normally see him.
Yeah, good stuff from him.
Yeah, it was an entertaining match from pretty much start to finish.
I thought it was a great match.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us are 100%. Actually, I feel really satisfied with the result. I can't lie. I
feel
think
like you should
probably
be.
more so than you do.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like, that's right.
I think you feel valid in, I think you should feel valid in not being totally satisfied.
Yeah,
with that.
I think we should,
I feel pretty great
the
about
performance
it.
deserved 3 points, but it wasn't the spicy affair we would maybe expect.
No, it's pretty clean cut.
Yeah.
I think they realized that you and I would be watching together today.
Yeah.
And for the sake of the pod, they're like, all right, boys, let's play it clean. All right, we can
Yeah,
play it
no
rough.
shenanigans.
Play it
all
rough,
right?
and you can play it clean. You
Yeah.
know, let's minimize the dark arts a little bit.
There was minimized dark arts. I thought
There was really none. Both times I thought it was going on, it turned out the guys were hurt.
yeah, Arsenal actually had real injuries. They caused some. They could have been questioned as dark arts, but they both went off.
Yeah,
so.
both players eventually went off. Yeah, so we'll allow it.
And Raya got booked for time wasting, but I really
Right.
don't think that was even like a pretty. It wasn't like a bad example of time wasting. It didn't even feel like he was time wasting when he got booked.
I was ready to be mad about it.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because I actually didn't notice he had been doing that until he got booked.
Yeah.
So I have no real leg to stand on. But then right after he got booked, I noticed a defender taking a goal kick.
The goal kicks.
So I was like, oh, now you're gonna have defender take him, so they could take a yellow card. But it really is still the keeper time wasted. So, like, what kind of fucking loophole
true.
shit is this?
It is true.
But it ended up not being an issue. But
Yeah,
I had my eye on that, dude. I was locked into that situation.
That's true. They did swap out immediately when he got booked.
It's true.
Which, to be fair, I mean, it did seem like he got booked pretty quickly.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't.
It didn't feel like there was. I mean, maybe it was just not me. I'm not paying attention to how much time had passed, but it didn't feel like it was a super long delay.
I would have noticed if he had been up to some shit in the game.
Yeah, it didn't seem that bad.
It would have. Yeah, it would have
But
been on my
I mean,
radar.
I guess I don't want to give credit to referees ever. Maybe he was putting the early stamp out on that situation, trying to keep it from happening. But I don't want to give him credit, so that's not the case.
Yeah, no, fuck that ref and all of them.
Refs all suck.
I want to move on to Trent drama in a minute, but let's give him a little credit too. He didn't have his best game in the world, but sure enough, our one razor-sharp counterattack was sparked from a Trent Alexander ball, as it so often is.
Yeah, beautiful.
Incredible hit out of nowhere, just pinged it. Oh, there's a lane, and I've mentioned before the random chemistry that Salah and Darwin have. It ticked as Darwin ran onto the ball. Salah reversed his run inside.
Beautiful little
for the
reverse
cut.
ball back to him.
On the they showed a lot of angles of that counterattack post match, and I gotta say it was actually really sexy.
It was beautiful. It was really well executed. I mean, it was like as precise as it gets. It's 1, 2, 3, and back in that. It's over.
Pretty vintage stuff.
Yeah,
but how much longer am I gonna see that from Trent?
Is he on his way out the door? Do you think he's done?
This week, Trent announced that his number one career goal, and they had a card of things for him to select, like captaining Liverpool, winning the X trophies, yada yada. And he selected Ballon d'Or and stated that that's always been his number one career goal, which is the first time I've ever heard him say that.
That's an interesting
and
one for a player like him.
That's such a stupid top goal to have as a player.
Yeah.
An individual accolade from a French magazine that everyone knows is just political nonsense.
Yeah.
Trent, be smarter than that. And secondly, like,
that's pretty telling for him to pick that, though, of all things.
Well, I immediately, of course, just read it. Oh, he's just seeding excuses for when he goes to Madrid.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I have all these feelings as a human.
Yeah.
I'm like, you motherfucker, dude. I love him so much. I'm starting to hate him, dude. I'm
yeah,
getting mad.
That'll happen.
I'm preparing myself. You see me getting ahead of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like a breakup, dude. You got to prepare yourself mentally for
this
it.
Bitch.
She's
up to no good.
Yeah,
I know it.
Shenanigans are up. She's gone already in her mind.
No one
gone.
goes to yoga this much. Oh man. But no, for real, I do he keeps making these silly comments.
Yeah, it feels more and more likely like he's just dropping clues that he's leaving.
Yeah, it feels like it. I don't think we talked about it on the pod, so I'll console myself with the fact that Virgil has announced.
It happened right after the day after we recorded.
That's right. Yeah, so Virgil has announced he's open negotiations with the club and said openly that he wants to stay. So
yeah, that was a huge deal because on the pod the day before we were literally talking about
how they
might all three go. Yeah,
I was pretty convinced they were. That's right. I remember you texting me that bright and early. That was the first thing.
I woke up and clicked on BBC, classic old BBC wake up, click on the article and go, oh, look at that, Virgil.
Yeah, so that's not done and dusted, but I'd like to think it will be. And
it's a good sign, though.
That's honestly a really great source of comfort for me.
Yeah,
in these trying times with Trent.
No, that's a huge one. It's obviously Trent is such a rough one to lose, especially with the age.
Yeah, he's technically the most valuable of the three.
Yeah,
because of his age.
Hurts.
Yeah,
but Virgil signing would be a nice soothe, balm on that burn.
Yeah, Virgil, 34 or not, he's irreplaceable at the moment.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player.
The leadership
proved it again today.
The physique, the cool attitude, cool guy stuff he does off the pitch.
We saw he had a weird spicy moment in the beginning of the game where he seemed heated with Havertz.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was like a weird flare up where it was very un-Virgil like, where he seemed very rattled early in a match.
I really wonder if they were genuinely just trying to set the fucking tone.
It seemed like maybe you were right.
It was weird. That was odd. It was out of context.
Yeah, it did not feel like a very Virgil behavior.
Anyway, you have any other notes on that match? Anything we didn't hit on? Sadly, it leaves Manchester City top of the league.
Yeah, it hurts both of us, really.
Liverpool second, Arsenal third.
Obviously, Arsenal couldn't lose that. We were talking about the points gap, or how drastic it sounds when it was either an Arsenal win would be 1 point behind you or 7 points if we lost.
Yeah,
that just makes it seem such a dramatic swing.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that Arsenal were playing to hold on to that point with all the might they could.
We were just setting up shop. No, it was a great match, though. Like, pure entertainment. I'll give a shout out to, I don't know if he actually listens to our postal delivery driver here at Littlefoot Coffee. He called the 2-2 result.
Nice.
So, shout out to him.
He delivered.
I'm very upset. Damn it. Well done.
Zoom. Anyway. Shout out to the post office. Anyway.
Doing hard work always.
You want to talk an exciting match? Did you catch Brentford Ipswich by any chance?
I didn't. No.
It was a wild one.
I saw the results and I saw a red card.
Yeah, it was running concurrent to something I was watching. Was it United? Manchester United was running concurrent too?
I feel like all these games were on at the same time.
Yeah, there were a lot of games on at the same time, but that thing was just ticking up like
the scores just flipping over every time you see it.
Yeah, wild game, dude. Ended at 4-3 to Brentford. Ipswich had equalized in the 10-man Ipswich. Poor Ipswich.
Hold it back in the 86th minute.
In the 86th to level it, only for Brentford to win it in added time.
That's heartbreaking stuff.
It is heartbreaking stuff, dude. I think
especially
both those teams.
Ipswich.
Yeah, I think both those teams needed a win, but Ipswich really
needed the result.
Use a result there.
Yeah. And that would have been a huge one. Even a draw there, with the way it happened, would have been a massive momentum swing for them.
For sure. Being down a man and away to Brentford is a tough fixture.
Yeah, Brentford's a hard team.
Yeah, that stadium gets live, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bournemouth also 90+6 minute equalizer away at Villa Park, another infamously brutal stadium. Yeah, Bournemouth are just causing trouble all over the place.
Yeah, talking up Bournemouth lately, and here they go again.
Huge result, dude.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw that. I thought for sure Villa had already won that game. I think I must have seen it when it was like late in the 90s and 1-0.
Talk about a team that was going to be ecstatic to have ground out a point.
Yeah,
Villa were working for that win, dude.
Really?
I mean, 3 points. Villa were working their asses off for that win.
Bournemouth were working them over.
No, it was a tough fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
For sure. And when they scored, I think, when did Villa score? In like the 70-something minute? Or maybe...
It was pretty late in the second half.
Anyway, yeah. In the heart of the second half, Villa went up, and they celebrated like it was fucking... Like they climbed Everest.
Yeah.
For Bournemouth to come back and just snatch it away from them at the last minute.
Rip their hearts out.
Pretty tough stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's... this is the Villa's new reality of playing Champions League midweek games, and sometimes you have to go against a team like Bournemouth who are just going to grind you down on the weekend.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Villa's undefeated in the Champions, sitting
top of the table
in the Champions League.
Villa.
There's often a price to pay, dude.
There is. Those European nights can
gotta
wear
watch
you
out.
down.
You gotta watch out for that last minute lack of focus.
Yeah, exactly, because you're sleepy from playing 2 games in a week.
That was fun stuff in those 2 games. As noted in the Liverpool game today, there were a total of 5 extra time goals in the Premier League this weekend.
Most exciting league in the world. Adding on 10 minutes for every game.
Yeah, right? Before Liverpool and Arsenal kicked off today, we had West Ham hosting Manchester United. Oof. Boy, things aren't going good for United.
Ten Hag. What happened? Your boys are letting you down, I'll say that.
The boys are letting him down.
Yeah.
They're generating so many chances. I think like 30 seconds into this match, Garnacho banged one off the crossbar. Absolutely rattled the crossbar after a nice run of play. And then you saw the Diego Dalot
just
missing
a wide open net, blazing it over the bar.
That was tough. He was about 10 yards out.
Gets past the keeper.
Had tapped it past the keeper. Clear on. Obviously, it was a bouncing ball.
Yeah.
But, bro, you're 10 yards out. Like,
pass it in.
Take
your time with it.
Pass it in.
You had all the time in the world.
He opted to put his laces through it.
Yep. It did not go well. Did not control it well.
Borderline cursed vibes at United right now.
Yeah. It feels like poor Ten Hag's got somebody after him. Somebody's cursed the man.
Yeah. He's been facing a tough run in the press this week, too, after saying he doesn't take responsibility for the game where Bruno was falsely sent off. because that card was overturned.
Yeah, so that game doesn't count now.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, that's not. Believe me, Ten Hag. Actually, we all feel
your pain on that one.
As two teams who have received referee apologies, formal apologies from the referees associations. Like, we get it, but you can't go saying that. People are just gonna roast you.
Yeah.
You know,
your fans aren't gonna enjoy that. That's not gonna soothe things over with the fans.
So, how bad does it have to get before Ten Hag is gone? They have Chelsea next week.
Yeah,
Is that right?
That's. I mean,
They're in 14th
based on
at
how
the moment.
the form, Chelsea's gonna trounce them.
The conversation has devolved to it has to just be about the money, right? There's no tactical or sort of morale
reason to keep him on board.
Right, exactly.
It seems like it, yeah. They're just trying not to have to pay that contract out.
Yeah,
to get rid of him.
Do you think it's really that simple?
I don't know.
And if it is, yeah,
how far do they let it sink before they take the financial hit?
Yeah, we're really gonna see some funny. It's almost like a reality show for Ineos.
It's really weird because
I gotta eat all these worms. I can't eat all of them. It's like
scratching his neck. It's weird, man. It's just a weird one. Like we kind of I feel like we went into the season feeling kind of positive about United.
Yeah, I'm wondering now if clearly that's just Liverpool PTSD for me because I was feeling very optimistic. I'm like, I'm afraid they might be back,
and now it looks like they're in as bad of a mess as they've been in.
And they're sitting
14th, right?
Yeah, 14th.
Like negative 3 goal differential.
Yeah. I was about to say they honestly look really bad on the pitch too.
Yeah, they look disjointed for sure.
They really do. You can't deny that. But that also kind of contradicts what we're saying. They're generating all these chances.
They have and
the boys are just not putting them home.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
We trot out that cliche. It's just a confidence issue, right?
Yeah. If they could string results together, would it turn around?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know if he's going to get the time.
It's difficult. It's getting more and more difficult to diagnose what's wrong over there.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. Every time it feels like we have it diagnosed, something else shifts.
Yeah.
They get something right, and then another thing falls apart.
So we're almost in November.
Yeah.
Is that what they're waiting for? Again, they just knew about our prediction. They're holding out.
They're waiting
November,
for our prediction to be correct,
so we can be smug about it.
I'll be so mad if they do it right before November.
If
they do it at the end of October, I'm going to be furious.
Halloween, spooky Halloween,
though. Spooky firing might be fun.
Do the Dutch do Halloween?
I mean, who doesn't do Halloween, right?
You know, a lot of people don't.
Really? It's so funny.
Do you know the Japanese people didn't know about Halloween until like 10 years ago?
God, it's insane because I feel like that's right up their alley.
Well, of course it is. It's so and then it's really funny. They got so obsessed with it that
of course they did.
This year it became a massive thing in Tokyo. Halloween is huge in Tokyo.
Of course it is.
And this year, for the first time, Shibuya banned all Halloween activities. Don't you fucking come here with your Halloween shit.
No,
because Shibuya is like a massive Halloween party,
dude.
like just a massive city
That's
block
awesome,
Halloween party. Yeah, they had enough of it. They banned it this year.
Why, do people get hurt or something?
No,
it sounds so fun,
it's
dude.
Japan, dude. No one ever gets hurt.
Just turn Shibuya into a giant dance party, dude. The whole thing, a Halloween dance party.
Sounds awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, the Japanese take everything and turn it into the coolest thing possible.
They take it to the extreme, of course.
They just make it awesome.
Put funny or sexy costumes on and go around and sprinkle candy everywhere.
Yeah, they're like, we're in.
Go frolic.
We're in. Watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do this. We're
going to have fun.
We can do this way more efficiently than you.
Yeah, certainly can.
I've been to Tokyo in the spring, dude. Maybe it's time to go back in the fall.
Honestly, Tokyo in the fall is probably awesome, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, weather-wise, it's the ideal time. That's when you want to go.
Right.
So.
Man, I want to go to Japan so bad. We got to go to Japan, dog.
Let's go.
Let's find a reason to cover J-League football and go to Japan.
Anytime, dude.
Oh, man, I want to go so bad.
Tokyo's the best.
And I spent 3 hours in Japan traveling through.
It's a goofy place, man.
And I want to go back.
Anyway.
What else we got? What's next on the run? Oh.
Last little bit of Premier League news. Let's talk about Chelsea beating Newcastle 2 goals to 1.
The resurgent Chelsea team.
Yeah, a little bit of a mystery team still too. Not unlike this current Liverpool finding its new identity,
Yeah.
but finding a lot of success along the way.
Having some really brilliant players that are showing up
Yep.
is going to help a lot. Cole
Yeah.
Palmer is amazing yet again.
Seems like the key was really finding a manager that is like a tough enough dude to wrangle that crowd.
Yeah, you needed somebody with a big enough ego to cut some players loose and really take control of the room.
Yeah,
And he seems to have done it.
Aside from that, I honestly didn't watch that game. So
I watched the first half.
Yeah.
The first half was pretty good. I think Newcastle were kind of lucky to be level. Isak got a pretty nice goal, but I think Chelsea were looking pretty dominant. I don't know. I don't know what to think about Newcastle even.
I have watched, honestly,
Where are they at
surprisingly
in the
little
table even?
Newcastle.
Okay, they're in 12th. Okay, I felt like they were having a really bad time of it, but I wasn't certain. But yeah, they are
It's not great considering they have no Europe to play.
no Europe to play. They've spent a lot of money on players. I wouldn't mind rescuing Alexander Isak out of that mess.
Now they've got a few gems in there for sure.
There's some good players.
Let's move on to the Champions League. Speaking of Europe,
Yes.
big dog time. The league format, which is so fun. A certain football podcast that we love or have loved over the years.
Yes.
I was listening to them getting so smug this week.
Really?
I tuned into an episode and they were talking, just iterating. They were having opinions that we had weeks ago, basically.
Oh, yeah.
They were looking at the Champions League table and they were like, is this actually pretty fun? They're like, once you get going, like looking at it, like this is kind of fun. I was like, God damn it, we had this exact conversation.
already had this
like,
revelation.
weeks ago. There was another one too. Lukey had an opinion that we had identified, and I was like, we're better than them at this.
We just how do we get this out to the masses, dude?
Right?
We have things to say, people.
We're so much better than everybody
We're
at
so
everything we
much
do.
better always.
Just like the English, dude.
Yes.
3 English teams top of the table. Arsenal are hanging
us.
in there. Undefeated though, still.
We are undefeated still.
It's only
but
a
haven't been
2-point.
brilliant.
We're talking a 2-point gap.
Yeah, of
folks.
course. Yeah.
But English teams dominating the new format, and French teams surprising everybody by really putting on a little show there.
Yeah, right?
This team Brest, which finished 3rd last year in League
A random
Two,
French team
that
showing up.
yeah, they have a name that Micah Richards and Thierry Henry and Jamie Carragher cannot resist laughing at. Does that mean we can do it on this podcast too? If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us.
Right?
We can make breast jokes.
We can make breast jokes.
Um,
It's hilarious that they cannot help themselves.
It's silly, especially Henry, I think, especially. Right?
When Henry gets silly, it's always funny to me because he's so serious most of the time. He's so cool guy, French guy.
Yeah, it's true.
When he makes a joke about it, he makes a booby joke. It's funny.
When he gets, I feel like he gets mad at himself immediately after.
He's ashamed that he joined in. He
Yeah.
stooped to their
Spent
level.
Too many years in England.
Yeah.
He's furious about it.
Letting Jamie and Micah be a bad influence on him.
Right? But anyway, this week, we're talking about French teams, but it ties neatly into kind of the story of the week in and out of the Champions League is what's going on with these Spanish teams.
Yeah, Spanish teams.
Barcelona just thriving, and Real Madrid.
Thrashing Bayern Munich midweek.
Yeah, and Real Madrid really riding the struggle bus. So, I don't know what order to talk about this in, but Barcelona having their way with Bayern Munich, which is kind of fun times.
Thoroughly enjoying. I was laughing with Todd because it's funny when it flips because Barca were my nemesis for the first part of my Arsenal fandom, and then Bayern took over for a while as our nemesis in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I took great joy in watching our old nemesis take down our last one.
It's funny how that works sometimes,
I was
right?
really enjoying Barcelona just beating the doors off of Bayern.
Enemy of my enemy situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying stuff. That's another satisfying opinion we can be smug about that people are starting to glom onto. Like, wait a minute. Is it possible Vincent Kompany didn't deserve the Bayern Munich job? This dude that got just pathetically relegated from the Premier League, they put up
a
2
weak
points.
effort in the league and then
One of the
one
worst.
of the biggest jobs in the world.
Insane stuff. It's turning out he might not be the guy.
Turns out he might actually not be the best manager for the job.
But huge week for Barcelona. This baby Barcelona team looks amazing.
This young Barcelona team is having fun.
Everyone knows about Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
And now Rafinha's coming into focus.
Rafinha's scoring hat tricks in the Champions League.
Right?
Ripping.
Hansi Flick's like, this guy's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Yeah, it feels like a new era of Barca. I don't really pay attention to Barcelona all that much, but I've watched like 2 games now in pretty quick succession, and I'm like this like feels like a new generation, like a new era for Barcelona.
That'd be exciting. I mean, they have such a young squad right now.
Yeah.
With that, you know,
Could be some ups and downs.
you could say it's going to be inconsistent, but maybe not. We'll see.
They're leading the way right now.
Yeah.
That's a massive week for a young team. They beat Bayern,
Yeah.
5-2?
5-2.
And then they beat Barcelona 4-0.
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. 4-0,
But yeah, no, that's the part I was looking for a smooth way to transition to is, coming off of that.
Fumbled it a little bit.
No, believe me, I didn't have anything better lined up. But we're kind of intertwining La Liga performances with Champions League performances here. Essentially, a tale of two cities. We got Barcelona just thriving in both, and vice versa. Real Madrid super struggling, humbled by Lille in the Champions League.
Crazy.
And then back at home in the Bernabeu.
In El Clasico.
Humiliated by their most hated rivals, Barcelona.
Yeah.
Tough stuff.
Very tough stuff, considering going into this season, all the hype behind Madrid and their new Galacticos.
Yeah, it's been a solid 10 to 15 years since there's been a more hyped combo signing than Bellingham and Mbappe. Those two arriving. Obviously, Bellingham had his explosive season. His goal total has fallen off this year. Ancelotti's defending that as he should. He's like, I didn't buy him for goals anyway. That was just a weird bonus at first.
It wasn't his primary role.
Yeah, but I think Mbappe is coming under a lot more criticism.
Yeah, because obviously his primary role is scoring goals.
Things not panning out like crazy for him.
How many memes did I see today of Mbappe being offside?
Yeah, that is
They're memeing the hell out of Mbappe being offside right now, which I did look at the stats. There was I think they were offside 12 times.
Yeah.
Barcelona was offside once, I think.
It's tough. Yeah, he's facing a lot of accusations of laziness from being spoilt at his time at PSG.
Yeah,
think there's anything to that? He doesn't. I mean, if you look at his defensive sprints, I've seen that category. His is cartoonishly low. It's non-existent essentially. I don't know how often that gets tracked.
Yeah, and also again, he's not a player that was bought for that reason.
Right,
he's not bought for his defensive skills.
Right,
and also, being offsides a lot as a striker isn't necessarily always a bad sign for your striker. Henry was caught offsides more than anyone I know.
It's true. Yeah, only I think if you're being repetitively lazy about tracking back.
Yeah, if it's a certain type of offsides, then yes, that's bad. That's a bad look.
Yeah,
but if he's just running early or the balls aren't timing's just not there yet with the teammates or something,
right,
that's a little different.
I also I think he's facing well, it's always a high standard at Real Madrid, right?
Yeah.
They'll shit on any player. They don't care
standard.
how famous you are, they'll shit on you.
Yeah.
But Vinicius is the most recent player in that position that he's trying to compete with. The current player he's trying to compete with kind of in a similar offensive role.
Yeah.
And Vinicius has been deadly for the last couple of years.
Lighting it up. And facing plenty of issues along the way, but still never stopping scoring.
For sure, but the shadow that he's casting right now, you would never expect Mbappe to be worried about the shadow cast by Vinicius, but that's kind of what's going on right now.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not exactly the same player or anything, and I don't think Ancelotti's trying to play them in exactly the same roles, but in terms of being the offensive talisman.
Yeah, and you see Vinicius clearly has taken Mbappe's signing as a boost for him. He's okay, well, I got to go to the next level now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably right about that, but honestly, I almost even want to get defensive about that. He's been playing like a madman these last couple seasons. But to be fair, no, I think you're right.
But I think it's going to elevate his game.
Yeah, it's
to a new level. Yeah, with Mbappe about pushing him the whole way.
He's definitely not backing down. You're right.
Yeah, which is good, great for him.
It is.
When you got to feel for him when he's a player who's been playing so well for a team like that, and then Madrid always kind of does in history, they sign yet another superstar and forget about who they've always had.
What do you think? We were talking about disappointment with Martinelli. Does Arsenal take a flopping Mbappe on loan in January?
Oh, I would take Mbappe in a second.
How bad does Mbappe have to get before those rumors start coming up?
I gotta say, if he flopped at Madrid and we were able to scoop him somehow, he fell off everyone's high radar and we were able to pull him at some point,
Yeah.
I'd be thrilled.
That sounds more like a Manchester United signing to me,
That,
Alex.
I mean, yeah, that's the kind of signing you make, but I still will never I not want to see him wearing the 14 for Arsenal.
Yeah, I understand that.
He's got his play style, the way he moves across the pitch is the closest I think I've seen
To Thierry?
to Thierry's style. He's not nearly as swaggy as Thierry.
Who's been reminding me of Thierry? I can't think of who that is. There's a player that every now and then.
Has moments.
Yeah.
I was watching
gonna escape
Henry's
me.
greatest moments the other day again, another YouTube compilation, and just like, man, he was good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, he was good.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the best.
He
dude.
just like glides. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The fact that he doesn't just roast Carragher 24/7
Oh,
for the amount of times that he out sprints him embarrassingly.
That's exactly why I love their broadcast relationship.
It's
because
hilarious.
that is their professional relationship. It
Yeah.
was truly like one, and the other one's a slapstick doofus.
Yeah.
And the other one's like the hero.
It's hilarious.
It was such a like clear dichotomy.
Yeah.
And this is like when Carragher was considered a good defender.
He was one of the considered one of the best center backs in the league at the time.
I know it's funny,
And
and
he was getting absolutely roasted by Henry.
I remember seeing so many of those live from Ginger's Ale House, Chicago, Illinois.
Shout out Gingers.
Those burns, just leaving Carragher in his wake.
He was
Like,
so
just
much
seared-
faster.
Those are just seared into my memory. Just like, God damn it.
Yeah, he was unplayable when he was on. He couldn't he could just flick the ball past you and just run right by you.
Yeah, it's true.
It was
You
insane.
can see how much fun he was having, dude. You could see it on his stupid French
true.
face. Just
His
having
smugness.
So much fun.
He's the smug. He's what a smug man.
Yeah,
But
he was the best.
deservingly smug man though.
Yeah, Henry's the best, dude.
He is the best.
Cooking.
We're back.
We're still cooking.
We're back.
We're cooking. We're running out of notes here.
We're running out of notes.
What else are we talking about?
One thing I want to talk about while we're still kind of in I know we jumped to the La Liga for a moment there, but Champions League is Arsenal playing Shakhtar.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, in my mind, I'm still like, where is Shakhtar playing these days?
Yeah, I know. I think they're migrating, right? Or do they have a home base? Are they in
No,
Germany?
so they have since moved to Schalke's arena in Germany.
Okay.
That's their new home arena.
Schalke are probably so grateful for that to have a tenant, because I think they're broke as fuck and just tumbling down the German
exactly
football
why
pyramid,
I'm
right?
sure why Shakhtar's there.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
to pay them and give them a little revenue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what a weird thing. Like, first of all, I feel like I haven't played Shakhtar is such a classic Champions League team.
But yeah, no, for real.
Crazy time.
Iconic, like old school Champions League challenger.
Yeah, and these poor boys are playing 600 miles away from their home stadium as their home
Yeah, it's a bummer
because the Russian invasion's still going on.
Yeah, it's a bummer for bigger reasons than football, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
You know, talk about cool cities to go to. Kiev was literally next on my list, dude. You know, right before this war broke out, there was a feature in Resident Advisor, the big like dance music magazine.
Yeah, about Kiev.
calling Kiev the new Berlin.
Oh.
It was like the hot spot for young artists in Europe.
That makes me even sadder. I didn't know that.
No, absolutely.
Obviously, very
Yeah.
tragic no matter what's happening there. But
Yeah.
that makes me real
No,
sad.
but you got to humanize these places, dude, or they just
course.
become names that
Yeah,
you
we
know.
see them on the news every
Yeah.
day. They get pounded in your brain where you think you just start to see it as a headline and you don't
Right.
you don't actually absorb what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, crazy stuff. A little bit of sports making you think about what's going on in the world.
Right?
People always talk about sports being like a dumb thing. It's like, no, sports has connection to the world, people.
The core of this podcast's concept initially was exactly that.
Yeah.
This
Football's connection to the world.
It's
not just-
intertwined with literally everything.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is. Especially, we talk football or soccer. It is the most intertwined because it's the most played game in the world.
Yeah.
All these countries can connect to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's culturally important to almost all of them.
Yeah, and it's wild to think about,
Mm-hmm.
and what makes it so interesting and fun.
I'm gonna listen back to that when I'm editing. I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
be like,
cut that
how
out?
stoned are we, and does this all need to go?
Yeah, it's gotta go. Well, here, I'll give you a little something to look at to reset your brain.
That's so gay.
It might be the gayest image I've ever seen in football.
Oh, in football, I was gonna say no.
No, I've seen a lot of gay images, but that is pretty. That's a very intimate hold.
Yeah, it looks like it lingered for a little bit too.
Yeah, I think he gave him a little kiss on the neck.
When
maybe,
when
too.
you're burrowing your face in his neck, that crosses into a new level.
I mean, the headline on Reddit does say it all. Havertz is all of the Arsenal fans right now. They all want to be hugging Saka like that. But
you want to smell his scent?
I do want to I just rub my face on it.
I hate that.
Yeah, I do too. It would really disgust me. I would not want to do that.
No,
but
I'm grossed out by
it's
that.
pretty funny. It's pretty funny image. Because I saw it happen, and it registered in my head when it happened, when they celebrated the goal. And then I was like, oh, that wasn't anything. And then I see this image, the still image of it, and I'm like, it's kind of haunting.
You hear Alex repressing that shit, you guys. That wasn't. I didn't say anything gay there. Nothing gay here.
Nothing gay here, people. Nothing gay. Now I'm staring at the image. It's probably gonna be my wallpaper.
Yep.
Oh, I thought of one thing that we need to shout out that we didn't shout out talking Premier League earlier.
What?
That Eze touch that had us both going, oh.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Well, I, of course, immediately compared it to Roberto Firmino, which is
Todd's
cliche
gotta
of
take
me.
it away from Eze.
Exactly. I got to make it about us. But at the same time,
very
is
Firmino-esque.
the highest compliment I give. Like, that truly is like, that is the highest compliment I'm going to give you. If I compare you to that, my guy, Bobby. That's my guy.
The first angle of it, when they're playing it from the TV angle, you see the flick and you're like, oh, is that just a reactionary flick of the leg because it's behind him?
Yeah.
But no, when they show the reverse angle of it,
So
the way he looked, like, lays that down perfectly.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It
dude.
was really, really, elegant football from Eze.
Yeah, incredible. Who did he lay it onto? Thank God that guy finished it. That's all I want.
Mateta.
Yeah. Mateta's a good player.
And then, how do we forget that result, by the way? Palace over Tottenham.
Huge.
Big result.
Pod punching bag Tottenham. Huge result for Palace.
Massive result for
Players
Palace.
involved we loved. How did we miss that?
I know. How did we skip over that?
We were sounded too much like a real football podcast, and I think I just wanted to move on from the Prem. I was like, this is too much football talk.
We're just getting too serious about the football right now. Let's ramble
We
a
really
bit.
broke down the Arsenal-Liverpool game. We
It's
got to
true.
get away
It's
from
true.
this.
I mean, what do they expect from us, though? We literally just watched it, people.
Yeah, and it's Arsenal.
fresh
It's
on
the
the
pod
brain.
derby, dude.
Yeah, it's important to us.
It is. It is a
We
holiday.
didn't even scream at each other. We didn't even scream at the TV, really, or the screen at all this time.
I restricted myself to a quiet fist pump when we equalized.
It's true. That was very, very respectful of him. 'Cause I was pretty frustrated with it, how quickly we got carved apart right there.
I knew you would be. I could feel because you had really dominated.
We were cruising before that.
It was starting to feel like the game was wrapped up.
Yeah, it was starting to. It felt like we had put
Another
a
2-3
damper
minutes.
on that.
Another
and we were
2-3
like, all right.
minutes, we would have been setting up the podcast.
Yeah. Yep. And then
But,
heartbreak. Precision by Liverpool. I mean, the thing is, I knew it was always possible. I was never cocky that game was over.
No, you can't be.
You can't let that game. It's never going to be asleep. But heartbreaking stuff.
What else is happening?
What else is happening?
I hope y'all tuned into my sick reel I made this week.
Todd's getting all kinds of traction on the gram, but we're not getting any followers.
I don't know how to get followers on the gram.
People follow us.
I suppose
I know you blindly follow so many accounts that you don't care about. Just blindly follow us. Come on.
definitely
Give us a follow. Help us out a little bit.
It's so confusing. Without talking specific numbers, that gets never mind.
A lot of
It's
views.
like exponential viewership.
Yeah.
And no.
Still no new follows.
It's fine. I like to think followers are just gonna come once I'm in Los Angeles. They're gonna sense my new
They're
level
gonna
of.
sense
This guy's hit a new kind of coolness. There's a more real vibe going on here. Let's follow. Let's give him a follow.
Since he's moved to LA, there's something much cooler
It's
about
gonna
him.
just solve everything. I think for the podcast, Alex.
I believe it. I have faith.
We still need to get you set up to record here.
I know we
remotely.
really do need to do that because we are running out of time, folks.
Yeah, sorry, folks. You don't need all this behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Anyway, what do you think? This is a little bit of a short episode. Should we just
Is
call
it
it?
short? Yeah.
It's tiny bit.
I don't know.
I feel like it's pretty solid.
I felt like a good episode, even though, compact information.
Let's take a quick look at next week.
Yeah, let's look at the Premier League upcoming.
So,
Yeah, look at that. There's actually a lot of good games next weekend.
yeah,
Newcastle Arsenal starting us off on Saturday morning.
that's fun. How are you feeling about that? We just said we don't
Honestly,
really know anything about Newcastle.
I feel maybe this is my not knowing enough about Newcastle stupidity, but I feel pretty confident about that.
Do you think y'all are going
After
to
today's
take out some
performance-
sexual frustration from today onto that?
I kind of get the feeling we might.
Go
I
out
get
there,
the feeling
beat
we
them up
might
a little
punish
bit?
them a little bit. It is at Newcastle, but still.
You calling a high score line?
I think we put 4 in at least.
Mm.
I'm going to say 4.
He's calling 4 goals.
Calling 4
away
goals.
to Newcastle.
Away to Newcastle.
We'll be real smug about
And
that.
then it's going to be a 4-4 Newcastle comeback again. Break my heart again.
Cheick Tiote. Everyone remembers that great player, Cheick Tiote.
Oh, what a player. His moment.
He scored exactly 1 world-class goal in his life. It's funny stuff.
I hate that. It'll forever haunt me.
Yeah, Liverpool-Brighton. This is going to be
The
fun.
test continues.
Yeah, the gauntlet continues. Look, first of all, it kicked off Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal.
It was a brutal
Boom,
start.
boom, boom, undefeated.
Yeah, can't ask for
2
more.
wins and a draw from those 3. I'll take it.
That's pretty good.
Home against Brighton, at least.
Yeah.
We'll see. We've really
Got a
had the
feeling.
handbrake on. It'll be fun to see how much possession. We ceded a lot of possession to Arsenal
We
today.
did. We had the ball a lot today.
It'll be. I don't.
Maybe a different story at
I
home.
think we would willingly do that away to you. I don't think we will at
No,
home to Brighton.
I think he plays much more on the front foot at home to Brighton.
Yeah, so today the commentators were talking a lot of shit saying that Liverpool just didn't have the energy or weren't up to it.
Yeah.
I think we were willingly conceding that possession.
I think so.
I think against Brighton, the truth will shine. Like,
Yeah.
we'll either pick it up and
We'll
have
see
that
what the real
possession,
team is.
or if Brighton is dominating us again, then there's something going on in that midfield. That we need
there's
to
something wrong
correct.
there.
Yeah.
Our good friends Bournemouth, can they do us a huge favor at City? Or home to City?
Do we predict a shock there?
Dude, I mean, based on results and performances, Bournemouth have been really good lately. City have been underwhelming lately.
City's defense been looking creaky.
That Southampton game, I watched a good portion of that.
Mhm.
They did not look brilliant in that
Right.
game. They won out 1-0.
Like an early
Not
Holland
confident
goal. Yeah.
win. Let's hope for a Bournemouth win there.
Man, big
A
games
shock
on
result.
Sunday too. We
Huge
got
games on Sunday.
Tottenham Villa.
Tottenham Villa. Maybe not as big if Tottenham losing to Palace this week. But
Villa are gonna have that pent up frustration from their last minute point droppage this week
true.
too. They're gonna
Unai's
go
not going to be happy about that.
spanked. Tottenham gonna play that suicidal high line that Unai is literally a specialist at exploiting.
Yes. They're Ollie Watkins running in behind. I think we'll probably see a handful of times at least in that game.
You think a big Villa win there?
I think a Villa win there.
I like
I don't
that.
think. Sorry, Tottenham fans. I don't think you're bouncing back against Villa. I don't think that's going to be your bounce back moment.
Again, if Postecoglou is really naive enough to play his
Style of football
his
against
strict
Villa,
template against Unai Emery, who made his career on exploiting that
template.
that formation.
Won many Europa Leagues exploiting that.
It's going to be a tough one out for the Spurs.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then wrapping it up with United and Chelsea.
yeah,
United, is this the final match? Is this our November sacking of Ten Hag?
I think it might be.
I think this might be the nail
That'll
in the
be
coffin.
my bon voyage. Hit the road right after that. Yeah,
Ten Hag
me
sacking
and
and then
Ten Hag. We
both sent
I think
packing.
We played the headline. Who's gone first? Me or Ten Hag? We might leave on the
You guys-
same day.
if you guys matched days up, that would be the best thing ever.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll sing Dutch folk songs all the way out.
All the
west.
way out to the West Coast.
Buy some wood clogs.
Obviously, we're picking a Chelsea win in that game.
Yeah, I think Chelsea might have a fun day at the park.
I also realized, that I'm like, why? I looked to see who was at home, but I was like, it doesn't matter if they're at Old Trafford
No,
these days.
No, I think it's actually worse for United. I think they feel a lot more pressure there.
Yeah, the crowd gets on their back real quickly at home.
Yeah, it's a pretty toxic environment right now.
Yeah.
Monday throws up a nice little digestif too. Honestly, if any match is a lovely little digestif, it's
this
Fulham hosting Brentford. Just the little guys, champagne football.
Two teams that we love and respect.
How could you not?
But yeah, and who will show up on their day and play some amazing football.
Oh, that could be an incredible game.
A little Richard birthday shout out, Richard.
Our crazy dad's
November
birthday.
4th.
Yeah.
Little birthday present for Richard there.
Yeah, and as it stands, formally my last day in Michigan.
Yes.
Pushed it back a week.
That's all right. That's not too bad.
Got a
Delay a
hotel
week.
booked in Nebraska for November 5th.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting
You're
times.
going to go visit the home of 311?
Oh, No, that's the other side. I actually wanted to stop in Omaha, but that's only like an 8-hour drive, and I'm like, I can't cut the first day that short. That's
if you're trying to get out there.
Yeah. So
while you're energized, you want to get those long drives out of the way.
Yeah, I have a long first day plan to get across the plains.
That's
so
smart.
I start the second day going into the mountains of Colorado and Utah and into Nevada.
That'll revitalize you enough.
So
just
second day is going to be a beauty bonanza, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll keep you going.
Yeah, that's
smart.
the plan.
That's smart planning right there.
Yeah. It's all going to be great until the car breaks down in Iowa, and I live in Iowa now.
And now I live here now.
It's going to look like Station 11, dude, that post-apocalyptic show on HBO. I'm just going to, like, let the car rust out and build a camp around it in a field somewhere.
Yeah, dude. Some, like, Borderlands-style shit.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'd be cool, dude. It'd be awesome.
I'm rapping on that note.
That's a perfect note to wrap it up on.
Folks, thank you so much for listening and or watching Soccer Situations. That was episode 61. Go to the Instagram /Soccer Situations Podcast. Give us a follow. Go to YouTube. Search for Soccer Situations. And go to your podcast platform and subscribe.
Please, folks.
Thank you.
Soccer Situations.